So I have an idea for a Friday the 13th movie that I think would reboot the series in a big way. I know the history of the rights issues with the Friday the 13th, so I'm fully aware that my idea would likely face a mountain of legal roadblocks, but in the end this is just a story concept made for fun and entertainment. The working title of my reboot is Friday the 13th Return to Camp Blood. Now if you watch this video to the end and you have an idea for a title of your own, definitely feel free to leave it in the comments below. The story begins at Camp Crystal Lake. At this point the camp is condemned and its surrounding property are now owned by an arrogant, filthy rich fitness guru. He plans to renovate the place and turn it into a health-centric camp for kids. Essentially, he's Tony Perkis from Heavyweights, but far worse. The movie opens on him at the camp. He emerges from one of the old shacks, stretching and breathing in the morning air. It's right there at the end of fall, but not quite winter yet. He tries to make a few phone calls, but his cell service is dog shit in the dense forest. He's there alone at the moment, surrounded by hundreds of thousands of dollars of lumber and supplies, everything needed to bring the decaying camp back to glory. After some light stretching, the guru, as we'll refer to him from now on, goes on a brisk morning jog. We see him running through a strange point of view that shifts and moves in and out of the brush, and soon the point of view picks up speed and rushes the guru, killing him right there on the spot. Then it fades to black for a bit, and then we fade into a medium shot of a car. It's filled with three brothers carpooling to their job site, bickering over each other as if it was their childhood dinner table. These three work for the contractor that the guru employs on a regular basis. His projects have practically funded their business for the last decade. The brothers arrive and meet the rest of the crew. Altogether there are 11 men there, one foreman and 10 others. The plan is to stay and work at the camp using the old cabins for housing. The plans are all set out in detail. They have heaters, food, bedding, all materials are accounted for. The original plan was to meet the guru at the camp and just go hard as they can with his supervision, so the crew is confused when they find no trace of him aside from a few innocuous possessions. The guru is notoriously minimalist. He doesn't really travel with much. He's an eccentric, bizarre, flaky, flighty type dude. They assumed he dipped out and expects them just to roll on with business as usual, so they just move forward without him. Now the foreman and his one right-hand man are consummate professionals. The rest of the crew loosen up a bit once they realize the guru won't be there. They call up their lady friends and tell them all to head on out. Bring the booze, bring the drugs, and bring copious amounts of prophylactics. Now that line needs to be in the script verbatim. So 9 girls show up, 8 girlfriends and one 16-year-old younger sister who had no choice but to tag along. She keeps away from the others, obviously too young for whatever debauchery they have planned. In total, we're looking at 19 adults and 1 kid. And although the foreman doesn't want them to party, he reluctantly allows it all to go down after the crew members stroke his ego a little bit. In the middle of their partying, a big fat fuck farmer shows up with his chiseled twin sons who look like roided linebackers. He talks shit to all the workers, eventually confronting the foreman. Fatty says he needs to talk to the guru, and he won't let him avoid the conversation any longer. Fatty wants to buy up the camp and its surrounding property. It's adjacent to all of his own land, and he wants to expand and build upon it for his new cattle lots. Fatty and his sons get a bit aggressive, but the crew comes together and spooks them off. Before they go, the farmer says a storm is coming. It's about to get messy, and they're all hyped up after the fight, so much so that they party even harder as the little sister chills off by herself. The party is so much fun that they don't really notice the storm outside. Pouring rain, thunder, lightning. The dirt paths and the roads turn to mud slop within minutes. A huge mess, much like Fatty promised. The next morning, the roads are so awful that the girls can't leave. The foreman says they should be okay. They have enough food for everyone, at least for a few days. Eventually, Jason shows up. He's a hulking CJ Graham-like version. The tool belt, the gloves, all of the Part 6 stuff. He lurks around the camp like a rigid drone, scouting the entire place as if it's been a while since he's visited the cabins. When he gets to the workers' bunkhouse, he overhears them telling the story of Jason Voorhees over a glowing orange heater. They speak of Jason as if he's another urban legend, a mythical being who might just show up if you talk about him too much. When they all go to bed at night, nobody wants to admit it, but they're all scared shitless. That night, Jason makes his first kill. He continues to lurk around until the foreman's right-hand man wakes up to drain the main vein, but ends up stumbling drunk into the woods. Jason quietly approaches him and does him in with half a dozen furious swipes of his machete. Jason then picks up the body and carries it into the woods. We get a mixture of kills where we see Jason brutalizing people and also a large number of menacing POV kills. In the end, the crew is really no match. All of them are eventually killed along with their girls. The only survivor is the little sister who hid inside a locker when the shit hit the fan. The characters in the movie all seem like they might be the final girl or boy at one point in time, but ultimately none of the adults here have what it takes to survive. As Jason drags what he thinks is the final body away, another Jason turns the corner, and for a moment we have our own version of the Spider-Man meme. The two Jasons remove their masks, revealing them to be the fat fuck farmer's twin spawn. The twin dragging the body is scolded by the other. He claims to have found where his brother is hiding all of his kills, and then he reminds his twin that their dad clearly instructed them to dump the bodies over the northeast fence, not in some nasty shack. The other twin is confused. He's already dumb enough, but this makes him feel extra dense. His brother then then goes on to scold him some more for killing a cop, which he definitely doesn't remember doing. The angry twin leads his brother to the shack in question, where they find a handful of dead crew members and a forest ranger hung up like locker meat. The angry twin accuses his brother of trying to show him up like always, and he starts to attack him. The fight pours out of the shack, and the brothers tussle in the grass for a moment until out of the dark woods steps a hulking Jason Voorhees, wrapped in a giant hide coat stitched together with patches of animal fur. His mask is broken and fragmented and seized to his flesh like Jason Goes to Hell. His bottom jaw and a few remaining teeth are fully exposed. He has long, stringy white hair twinkling out of his shriveled head and a thin tumbleweed of a beard clinging to his neck and his chin. The twins are frozen in their tracks. The real Jason lobs a severed head towards them. The twins are mortified when they realize that it's the head of their dad, the fat fuck farmer. Jason moves fast like a gladiator and grabs one of the twins by the neck. He picks up the juice head and spikes him like a football. His brother wastes no time and hits the road in a dead sprint. And at this point we get Jason's POV hot on the surviving twin's tail. This quietly reveals to the audience that all the POV kills were the real Jason, and of course all the CJ Graham kills were the twins. The surviving twin barges into the workers' bunkhouse to hide and sees the 16-year-old girl frantically searching for her sister's car keys. He's enraged when he realizes there's a survivor. The twin pulls a large hunting knife and chases her around the room. She starts whipping all kinds of random shit at him, plunking him in the head and face a few times. Jason rage bashes through the front door barricade, causing the twin to abandon the girl and flee. The girl stands in awe at the sight of Mountain Man Jason in front of her. After observing the girl for a moment, Jason turns and follows after the terrified twin. Once he's gone, she finds the keys and escapes in the car. Jason finally catches up to the twin, who's digging in a duffel bag full of tools and weapons. The twin pulls out a gun and tries to shoot Jason a few times, but we all know how that goes. They fight hand to hand a bit, but then Jason ultimately takes control and gives the twin the Batman Nightfall treatment. Jason inspects the duffel bag and its contents. Out falls the twin's hockey mask. Jason picks it up, examines it in the sunlight, then sets it down and uses a flathead screwdriver from the bag to pry the corner of his brittle mask from his forehead. He peels the remainder of his old mask off like a crusty scab and then covers his decaying face with the new one. Jason throws the twin over his shoulder, grabs the bag, and disappears into the woods. At the end, Jason is very much alive and well, but not in the traditional sense. He's almost like a curse on the land. Perhaps he'll always be up there, like a twisted, monstrous Jeremiah Johnson. Now, I know my idea lacks some finer detail and would need a bit of ironing out, so to speak, but I think this sort of chaotic, Scooby-Doo inspired slasher could be a lot of fun and really deliver some entertaining Friday the 13th mayhem. So what do you think of my idea? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay safe out there.